Okay, folks, this will be basically, well, just like my previous video, except this is for Illinois. I did California last time because that's where Old Brown Teeth is from, and he thinks California is like the greatest thing ever. And the fake doctor is from Illinois. Now, when I went into this, I figured Illinois was sucking off the federal teat more than most states. But as you'll see, their federal funds as a percentage of all Illinois spending is below the national average in every time frame, although they got closer. So Illinois is not a welfare queen as bad as, say, Mississippi. I'll have to run the numbers on Mississippi. I guarantee that'll be staggering. Illinois is not quite the welfare queen that Mississippi and California are. So I have to admit I was surprised. Now, here's what some progressives will say then. See, that proves them red states are sucking off the blue states, the blue state teats, and them blue staters are paying for it. No, because California is not a red state. California is a Democrat state. Now, I could just say, well, wouldn't Illinois be better off if they took care of this themselves? Like, for example, Medicaid. There's no constitutionality of federal government being involved in health care. So wouldn't Illinois be better off and spend less money and be more efficient if they ran their own Medicaid program instead of Washington spending money on it and causing them to have to spend a bunch of money on other states depending on how much they expanded their Medicaid program in the wake of Obamacare? Would Illinois be more efficient and save money if they ran their own food stamp program and their own school lunch program, by golly? Because the founders, all the screenshots are going by, of course, and all the relevant links are below the video as usual. The founders didn't create this country so everybody could get free lunch. I hate to tell you guys, there's some of you people that need to learn that the founders didn't start this. Founders, even though they were kind of flawed individuals, they didn't start this country for everybody to have a guarantee, you know. Well, you tried your best, Billy. You just can't make it in life, so here's some taxpayer money. No. So, if any progressive says Illinois is paying for all the other states, well, wouldn't Illinois be more efficient if they quit doing that and let Illinois take care of their own Medicaid and their own food stamps and own lunch programs, and then even let transportation back over to the states? Even though post roads are part of Congress's enumerated powers, I think in this day and age, excuse me, I just ate. In this day and age, the states could run their own transportation programs, and I think everything would be just fine. One other thing I need to mention before we get down and dirty into the figures, which I'm not going to read them off word for word. You'll see it word for word, but I'm not going to read it off word for word. I did see that NASBO on some occasions adjusted, like I would look at one swath of data and fiscal year 1993 was part of it, and then the next swath of data would also have fiscal 1993 in it, but they adjusted the figure. So I made sure with Illinois that I got the adjusted figure. Some of them were revised, a lot of them were not, and I noticed with California I wasn't going to go redo it, but the differences were so small, it's not going to make much of a difference. So if you compare this video and the years I went over from Illinois that coincide with the years I went over from California, you'll notice there's some subtle differences, but nothing earth-shattering. Nothing that would be anywhere near a standard deviation. So don't have a cow. And unlike the fake doctor, McStupid, I don't need a script. Really, I can ad-lib most of this. She's an idiot and a fat retard. So the first... And I hope you're listening, McStupid. First bit of data, fiscal year 1990 through fiscal year 1994. For that entire period, federal funds as a percentage of all Illinois spending, 1990 to 94 average, was 19.804%. National average for the same time frame was 24.868%. So you can see Illinois was getting far less of all their spending from the federal government as a percentage than the average state. And then you can see spending per capita in that time, how it trended upwards. Those are nominal dollars. You can adjust it for inflation. I have all the data for that as well. Next we jump to fiscal year 2005 through 2009. Federal funds as a percentage of all Illinois spending, fiscal years 2005 through 09, 25.09%. So Illinois is getting over a quarter of its operating revenue from Washington. National average for the same time frame was 27.776%. So the average state was getting well over a quarter of their operating revenue from Washington. Illinois spending data, fiscal year 2010 through 2014. The grand tally. Federal funds as a percentage of all Illinois spending, fiscal year 2010 through 2014 average. 23, although they move forward, now they're back. 23.758%. National average for the same time frame was 31.85%. So that's staggering. The average state's getting almost a third of their operating revenue from Washington. Illinois' per capita spending from 2010 through 2014 was well beyond Illinois CPI, Consumer Price Index, as was the fiscal year 2005 through 2014, if I bridge those, well above the rate of inflation. So Illinois is spending plenty of money. They're not cutting spending. Illinois spending binges aren't as extravagant as California's, nor is a percentage of their spending from Washington as large, but they aren't exactly pinching pennies in the land of Lincoln. So there you go. That was quick. That was relatively painless. It's a huge problem. When Washington runs out of money, who's going to bail them out? They can print money, the states can't. And they use Washington sending money to the states is kind of like our foreign policy. If you do what we tell you to, we'll give you billions of dollars if you implement this program. Oh, U.S. ally B172. If you do what we say, we'll give you billions of dollars in aid. And then our allies, I use allies in quotation marks, will do the same thing. We're not going to do what you say unless you give us a bunch of money. We'll sign on this climate treaty if you give us a bunch of money. And the federal government tells Washington, or the states, well, if you don't implement this program, we're going to take a bunch of your money away. So you see how this is it's perverse, it's bastardized, it's immoral, it's evil, most of it's unconstitutional, and your kids are going to pay for it unless your kids are idiots. And this should be another sobering reminder of what's going to happen unless our government gets its fiscal house in order. And that doesn't mean growing government, it means shrinking government, because it's not working. And 10 years from now, I hate to see what Illinois' pension liabilities are going to be like. Illinois is heading 10 years from now, I'm going to say Illinois is going to be even worse than California. That's just my prediction. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now for the warning.